Yesterday, we had a discussion about the requirement that all counsel call any individual by their surname, not by their first name. And I think Ms. McLyman asked if that was just a rule in this courtroom. Actually, it's pursuant to the Hillsborough County Standards of Professional Courtesy, and under subsection M, that governs trial conduct and courtroom decorum, subparagraph 8 is, quote, counsel should refer to all adult persons, including witnesses, other counsel, and the parties by their surnames and not by their first or given names. Okay, so Mr. McLyman, I believe you practice in Miami, is that correct? Okay, yes. I would just ask all counsel, and it's a good refresher for me too, to review the standards of professional courtesy, particularly paragraph M, which governs a lot of conduct as it occurs during the course of the trial, okay? The next thing I want to discuss, it was brought to my attention, I don't know if it's accurate or not, that Fox 13 is going to be airing an interview with defense counsel today. Is that accurate?
I don't know what Fox 13 is doing. If you're asking whether we did an interview with them this week, yesterday, we haven't.
Okay.
I don't know what interview they would be airing today. If it's not the same one that they continuously air.
Okay. And you were interviewed by a reporter at Fox 13 at some point?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago was that? Okay, so we picked our jury Monday, so where in relation to Monday? The week before. The week before trial?
Correct.
Okay. Did they tell you that they were going to air it during the trial?
They didn't say when they would, but they said if they did, they would probably air it that Friday, so that would have been the same week before trial.
Okay. So I don't know. I don't know if it's airing tonight. I have no idea what's going on. I just heard that anecdotally. So if Fox 13 does air the interview of defense counsel at any point during the trial, if there's...
I can tell you, if it's Fox 13, whatever they would be airing today, I've already seen that. And it had to be what you were referring to yesterday.
It was, Judge, because it definitely went into the evidence of facts of the case.
So you've seen it?
I did not see it. My legal assistant saw it and replayed it to me and told me the substance of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just raising the issue. No one's filed a motion or requested any relief, so at this point, I'm just asking the question. Okay? Okay. State, you ready to go?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah.
Actually, there are a few things the defense would like to address.
Sure.
First, Your Honor, regarding Ms. Andrews when she enters the courtroom, we just ask that the media not record her. She's kind of preparing,
Sure.
To get started.
Okay.
It's a little dehumanizing.
Yes.
It's
fine.
Seen that way. Second, Your Honor, there was a motion. We filed a motion. I would say last night. It was more like early this morning, maybe like 1 or 2 this morning, related to exhibits that we expect the state to attempt to introduce today. We have objections to them, so I don't know.
Listen, I'm not going to do that right now.
I was going to say, I believe the witness that it relates to is probably in the afternoon, based on what they said, so we'll do it later, but I just wanted to bring this to court's attention.
Okay. Do you have a copy for me?
I'm tempted, but I will give you one.
Okay.
I couldn't get it.
All right.
Judge, we do have 2 witnesses that do not want to be aired, and that's Audra Agramalante and Sathon Ramey. I know I didn't say that right.
When are you calling them?
They're both scheduled for today. Ms. Agramalante is first this morning.
Okay, very good. So again, I would just ask the media, don't broadcast the identities, including the names of these 2 witnesses due to the specific facts of this case.
Judge, if I can make an tennis motion at this point, because this is kind of getting out of control. We're aware of all kinds of interviews that counsel has given now to podcasts, and now you're telling me about this Fox 13 thing, which I didn't even know about that.
Well, again, I don't know if it's accurate. I just heard through the grapevine that it was going to air today.
Counsel's representations to the court this morning, I would ask for a gag order on all parties as far as any interviews with the media going forward until this trial is over.
Okay. Do you object to that?
Yes, Your Honor. Not that we necessarily intend to do any other interviews, but I recall at the beginning of this case, their possibly supervisor doing a very extended interview in the news with evidence and names.
I know, but they're saying from this moment forward, no more. You object to that?
Your Honor, we don't necessarily intend to, but again, this is...
Okay, so are you telling me you object to it?
Yes.
Okay.
We would object to it.
So,
we haven't heard one juror say that they have seen any of these. Unfortunately, we can't control what has already been released or how they intend to re-release it. We don't believe that we've said anything in the media that is inappropriate or, would do anything.
So here's the deal, I'm just gonna tell you, and I don't know the answer, because honestly, I've been on the bench for 23 years, okay? I've tried over 200 jury trials. I've never, in a high-profile case in particular, had defense counsel do interviews about the case so close to jury selection. I'm not saying it's wrong, I honestly don't know, I've never confronted it before. So I do think it's potentially problematic for interviews from either the state or the defense. I mean, are you telling me if Ms. Lopez went on the news tonight and talked about how guilty your client was and all the evidence that was arrayed against her, you would be fine with that? You'd have no problem?
It would depend on what she's saying.
Okay,
It would
but the problem is, if she gives the interview, the damage is done, right? Once it airs, the damage is done.
Again, Your Honor, like I said, we don't intend to do any interviews at this point, and we can't control, how the media are released, and no more than we can control what is released that's recorded in this courtroom.
Okay.
It's out of our control.
So at this point, I'm going to temporarily grant the state's Ori tennis motion. I'm going to do some more research on this just because I've never had the issue arise ever in 23 years. And then, but for the time being, no one's going to be talking to the media about this case. Okay, we're in the middle of trial.
Your Honor, we, obviously reserve the right to respond appropriately with any support.
Sure. Absolutely.
Judge, if I can put on the record, I was just shown a text from one of our legal assistants who watched the news this morning. Apparently, when Fox 13 was reporting the opening statements yesterday, that they would start yesterday morning, they then went to an interview with Mr. Malcolm and Mr. McClymont talking about what evidence the state doesn't have and what they would prove. She indicates in this text message, which apparently was sent to Ms. Doherty, I don't know when they gave the interviewer statement, but it was shown yesterday morning. And then counsel was saying they will prove she, I'm assuming the defendant, came to Tampa unaware of what was happening. So anyway, I just wanted to put that on the record.
Okay. Well, like I said, at this point, I'm going to temporarily grant the state's Ori tennis motion as far as gag order on both the state of Florida and the defense counsel. No one's to be talking about this case any further in the media. And I know we've said this before, and I just want to make sure, and I'm going to do an order to this effect just to make sure, the names and identities of the jurors are not to be disclosed to anybody outside of this courtroom. Nobody.
Well, the
Okay?
defense is certainly not disclosed it, however, we are aware of.
I understand. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page regarding the identity of the jurors. So, okay. Anything else before we get going?
No, Your Honor, we did send everyone yesterday because we thought some of these witnesses were shorter and we might get to go through more, so we added some. So I
Okay.
sent that to all parties yesterday, I think a little bit after 6.
Okay, it's 9:13. Let's go. All right, bring in our jury. Back, members of the jury. All right, and you probably know what I'm going to ask you. So while we were on our evening recess, did anybody watch, listen, read any news accounts or social media posts about anything related to this case? Did you discuss this case with anybody? Did you do any independent investigation or research on your own about this case? Okay, very good. Thank you. We're ready to proceed. State, call your next witness.
State calls Audra Agramalante. Thank you, Judge. Please state your full name for the record.
I live in Lake Worth.
And back in June of 2024, were you visiting Tampa, Florida?
Yes,
Why were you visiting Tampa?
because we were moving our daughter into the USF dorm. She was starting college for the first time.
Now, I'm going to ask you specifically about the early mornings of June 23rd of 2024. But before I do that, you said you were moving in your daughter who was going to the University of South Florida. Is that correct?
Correct.
Who did you come with?
I came with my husband and my daughter's boyfriend, and of course my daughter.
And what was your daughter's boyfriend's name?
Braden Smith,
And your husband?
Nestor Agramalante.
Okay. And where were you staying at when you came to Tampa that weekend?
The Home2 Suites across the street from USF campus.
Do you remember what floor you were on?
Second floor.
And what was your room number?
230, I believe.
Now, I'm going to go to the early morning hours of June 23rd, 2024. Did anything unusual happen that night, or I should say in the early morning hours of June 23rd of 2024?
Yes, yeah, for sure. So I was woken up by some popping sounds. My daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Smith, he threw me down to the ground and shielded me, and I was realizing those were gunshots I was hearing. My husband got up on the other side of the bed. He was closest to the window and looked at the window and saw a bullet hole through the window and yelled at us to get down. So we were all very scared and just stayed down until the bullet stopped.
Okay. What happened after the gunfire stopped?
We reached for our phones. We called 911. We called the hotel lobby, and I called USF campus security because I was really nervous about my daughter being there.
So who was in the hotel room that night?
Myself, my husband, and Braden Smith.
Where was your daughter at?
She was in the dorm at USF.
So going back to when you said you woke up, so were you sleeping at the time when all of this occurred?
Yes, ma'am.
How many gunshots did you think you heard?
Oh my gosh, there were so many, and it was so fast. I don't know, maybe 30, 40 at least. It was just rapid. Bum, 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 bum.
When you got up, did you also look to see where the bullet had come in through the room?
Yes, yeah. So we went over to the window, saw it came through. There were some bullet fragments on top of the, it's like the air conditioning vent, and it was on top of that.
At some point, did you make contact with officers from the Tampa Police Department?
Yes,
Did you provide an interview to an officer with the Tampa Police Department?
yes,
Did crime scene come and process the room?
yes.
How long were you in your room before you would say law enforcement was able to get to that room to process it?
You mean from the time of the shooting to when he came in?
Yes, ma'am.
It was a few hours.
I'm going to ask you about some photographs. Have I previously shown you photographs?
Yes,
I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification, States Exhibit 19A through G. No, E, I apologize, 19A through E. Do you recognize all of these photographs?
yes, I do.
Judge, I think I misordered them. I just want to make sure how many they are before I introduce them. It's actually A through G.
A through G?
Yes. At this time, we would introduce into evidence 19A through G.
Any objection?
No objection.
They'll be admitted.
So, Ms. Agramalante, I'm going to ask you to look at this. Is this a photograph of the door leading to your hotel room that night?
Yes,
And then what is this a photograph of?
that's the inside of our room.
That is 19B for the record. I'm gonna ask you about 19C, again, another room but a close-up.
Yes.
And where were you, and what bed was you and your husband in?
We were on the bed closest to the window.
This one right here?
Yes, that's correct.
And then your daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Smith, was he in the other bed at the time when all
Yes, he
this happened?
was.
I'm going to show you States Exhibit 19D. Can you tell us what's in this photograph?
Yeah, that's our window where the bullet came through.
And that's what you saw after you were able to turn on the lights and look, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to show you a close-up. I'm going to go to 19F. You said that there were some items or some kind of particles on the AC unit. Is this the AC unit that you're referring to in 19D?
Yes, ma'am.
Show you a close-up of that. 19F, is this what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay. And is this also some broken glass up here in the top of the photograph?
Yes.
And then, let me show, I'll do another close-up, 19G, or that close-up of the particles that were on the AC unit.
Yes.
And then 19E, is that a close-up of the bullet hole that was on your hotel room window?
Yes.
What sort of vehicle did you come to Tampa to bring your daughter in?
We rented a minivan, so we would have room for all of our stuff.
And when you were leaving at that point, let me ask you this, when did you leave from that hotel in Tampa?
We tried to leave maybe around 11:30, but the police officer said, they had to check all the vehicles first. Once they said they had been checked, we were going to leave, and then when we got in the car, we saw that there were bullet holes in our car.
Okay. And was it a rental vehicle, did you say?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, this time we'd introduce into evidence States Exhibit 16A through R.
Any objection?
No objection.
Admitted.
Can you tell us what is in 16A?
That's the minivan that we rented.
You said that there were bullet holes, is that correct?
Yes.
Where were the first bullet holes that you noticed?
We first noticed it in the passenger seat. As Braden Smith got in, he noticed there were holes in there through the back and the front. And then as I was climbing in, I noticed there was a hole in the back of my seat too, which is the front passenger side.
I'm going to show you some of the seats. I'm going to show you 16M. Do you see these holes in the seat?
Yes.
And then 16N is a close-up of that.
Yes.
Was there, I think you mentioned there was also a hole in the license plate, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's where we believe it entered through, and it actually went through the hand cart that we had, like to bring all of our stuff in. So it went through that and then through the two seats.
I'm going to show you. Can you point out for us in 16B where exactly the hole is?
Sure. Physically or just?
You can get up and show
Okay.
me.
So it's the, it was in the queue, and it's over on like the side of the queue.
I'm going to show close-up 16D. Can you point it out for us?
Sure. It's right here. Side of the queue.
I'm going to show you. And you said that there was a hand cart, is that correct, that was inside of the van?
Yes, that's correct.
16J. Is that what is being viewed there?
Yes.
Okay, I also want to show you a close-up of the back of that seat in 16K. Can you show where the damage was that wasn't there before the shooting?
Sure, it's in the back of the seat right here.
And I'm going to show you a close-up of the hand part. 16I, is that what you noticed when you first got into the minivan?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we would pass the witness.
Cross-examination?
Defense has no questions for this witness.
Okay, thank you. May this witness be excused?
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You're free to go. All right, state, who's your next witness?
The state is calling Blasini.
I'm sorry, what's the name of this?
Blasini, I believe? Miguel Blasini.
Okay, officer.
Officer, I apologize.
Okay.
Stand and raise your right hand, face the clerk, please.
You swear affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Good morning. Please state your full name for the record.
Officer Miguel Blasini Franceschi, but I go by Officer Blasini.
Where do you work?
I work for the Tampa Police Department,
How long have you worked for the Tampa Police Department?
just shy of 8 years.
Were you working on June 23rd of 2024?
Yes,
Did you respond to the Home2 Suites located at 11606 McKinley Drive?
yes.
Why did you respond to that location?
There was an active investigation of a shooting at that morning when I arrived to work.
What time did you arrive there?
At approximately 5:55 in the morning.
Were there other law enforcement officers already on scene at that location when you arrived?
Yes,
What county is that hotel located in?
it's located in the Hillsborough County area.
Was perimeter tape already set up when you arrived?
Yes, it was.
What were you tasked to do when you first got there?
Upon arrival, they asked myself and other squad members to try to collect surveillance video from the local hotels. And at that point, I made my way to the Holiday Inn hotel, which is in the same vicinity of the other hotels in that area.
When a homicide occurs, is the case eventually assigned to a homicide detective in the homicide unit of the Tampa Police Department?
Yes, it is.
When you were assisting and made contact with the hotel manager, did you say it was, what hotel was it?
It was at the Holiday Inn hotel.
And where is the Holiday Inn placed in reference to the Home2 Suites?
It's right next door. If you was to go to the intersection of Fowler and McKinley, there's a collection of 3 hotels in that area. Holiday Inn kind of sits in the middle next to the Home2 Suites, which is on the corner of 40th, McKinley and Fowler.
Did the hotel manager of the Holiday Inn, did he give you access to their video surveillance system?
He did. He actually assisted by operating the surveillance video and just going hour by hour, minute by minute at my request.
Were you physically viewing that video footage as he was going through it?
Yes, I was.
Did you see anything of note or relevance to this particular investigation while he was viewing it?
Yes. So the first thing that I noticed was a dark color vehicle cross the path of the camera of the Holiday Inn. It looked of a dark color vehicle. There was a second camera by the main entrance, the Holiday, which looks to the east, and at approximately 0:49 hours, there was a plume of smoke coming from another dark vehicle. Not long after that, there was 2 males seen from the direction of a smoke plume running into the hotel.
Okay. Did you make any observations of those two males as they were running into the hotel?
One male was a heavy-set male, the other one was a thin, both males.
Jack, I think the witness is reading something.
I'm reading my report, sir.
Okay, well, you can't do that, so you have to testify from your memory, and if you need to look at your report to refresh your recollection, you just need to let us know, or let Ms. Doherty know. You just need then to look at the report, refresh your recollection. When it's refreshed, then you can continue testifying.
Yes, Your Honor, my apologies.
No worries.
Sorry, this was well over a year ago, so. There were two males that ran into the hotel. One was a heavy-set black male, the other one was a thin black male that ran into the hotel, the
What-
Holiday Inn specifically. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. What did they do after they ran into the Holiday Inn?
From what I recall, they ran past the front desk down one of the hallways and attempted to knock on one of the doors. From there, they made their way, when they weren't allowed entry into that room specifically. They then made their way to the elevators, got on the elevators, and then got off, I believe, on the third floor. Once they got off the third floor, one of the two males collapsed. It looked like he had been bleeding around the upper torso of his body. And the other male hung around but kind of paced back and forth next to his friend or the person that he was with.
And you have talked about two different areas, the first level, the third floor, as well as the elevator. Is there video footage of all of those places at the Holiday Inn?
Yes,
So you're able to see the full progression of when they were fleeing into that hotel and exactly where they went and what happened with them?
I can say that I saw the two males running from a direction of a vehicle with smoke coming out of it, running into the hotel, the Holiday Inn, and obviously their movement of travel as I described.
And after you viewed that video footage, what did you do with that information?
That information was passed on to homicide detectives.
After you viewing the video footage, did you do anything else in further of this investigation to assist with the homicide investigation?
We just kind of maintained the perimeter for security, and while doing so, I noticed a vehicle that was struck by a stray bullet.
And was that, I'm going to show you, it's already into evidence, States Exhibit 16B. Is that the vehicle you're referring to?
Yes, that's the vehicle that was struck by a stray bullet.
And after you noticed that that was struck by a stray bullet, did you eventually contact the people that owned the vehicle or rented the vehicle?
Through research, we were able to locate who the renter was, and we were able to locate that person and notify them of what occurred.
And who was the person that you notified and were able to determine were the registered user of the vehicle?
I'd have to look in my report. I don't remember their specific name.
Would that refresh your recollection to review your report?
Yes.
Could you go ahead and review that?
The operator of the vehicle's name is Audra Agramalante.
And after you made contact with him, did you also have the crime scene investigators respond to take photographs and collect any evidence that may be involved in the case?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd pass the witness.
Okay, Cross?
That's no questions for the witness.
All right, may this witness be excused?
Yes.
Yes, you're free to go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Who's your next witness, Ms. Doherty?
I believe the next witness is Officer Craig, sorry, Douglas? Craig Douglas.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
That's right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, have a seat. Morning.
Good morning.
Please state your full name for the record.
Good morning. My name is Craig Douglas.
How are you employed?
With Tampa Police Department
How long have you been with the Tampa Police Department?
for 6 years.
Were you working on June of 23rd of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
On that date, did you respond to the hotels located on McKinley Drive across from the University of South Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
Approximately what time did you respond to that location?
We started at 06, so probably like at 06:10 or so like that because of, yeah, we started, so like 06.
Okay. Were there other law enforcement officers already on scene when you arrived?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do when you responded to that area?
When I arrived, my squad, we assist with trying to locate surveillance camera because there was many officers there already. They already like have everything taped off and stuff. So our job was to go look for surveillance cameras and stuff like that.
Where did you go to look for surveillance cameras?
The Home Suite.
Is that the Home2 Suites?
Yes, ma'am.
And were there other detectives from the homicide unit that also eventually arrived and were looking for surveillance video?
Yes, ma'am. Detective Kirkpatrick.
Detective Kirkpatrick, is he assigned to the homicide unit?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you locate video footage from the Home2 Suites?
We did.
And was that video footage eventually downloaded by the homicide unit of the Tampa Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there any other video surveillance that you assisted with?
Yes, there was a Tesla that parked right outside where the shooting occurred. I assist with locating the owner for that Tesla.
Were you able to locate the owner of the Tesla?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you provide that information to anyone?
To Detective Kirkpatrick.
Did you do anything else to assist in this investigation?
Yes, I checked the perimeter for additional casing, bullet casing, where there was possible shooter was shooting at, but we didn't find any on that fence line.
And what area were you specifically looking for, or tasked with looking for when looking for shell casings?
There's a fence line to the southwest corner, like a small fence, because there's a retention pond, and we were checking that fence line.
Okay. Had you already viewed the video footage of the incident at the Home2 Suites?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you trying to locate shell casings in the different areas where it appeared that the shooters had crossed that path?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you were not able to find any shell casings in the area that you were looking in, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Did you do anything else in furtherance of the investigation?
While we're there's a gentleman that came down from the hotel, and he said that his windows was shot. There was a shot came through his window. Okay. So I went up and talked to him and two other individuals that was also in that room.
Do you remember the individual, the man who came down and notified you about the window being shot out?
Yes, but I would have to check my report for his name.
Okay, you can go ahead and refresh your recollection.
Braden.
Okay. What was his full name, sir? And sir, please don't read your answer. If I'll ask you if has your memory been refreshed by referring to your report?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was it, sir?
Braden Smith.
Did you take a sworn statement from Mr. Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
And were there two additional individuals that were staying with Mr. Smith, the Agramantes?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you also take sworn statements from Nestor Agramonte and Audra Agramalante?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd pass the witness.
Okay, Ross?
The defense has no question for this witness.
Okay, thank you. May he be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, officer. Free to go.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, next.
This may be called Pablo Gabbor, and Your Honor, this witness does not interpret.
Okay. And I think you indicated, the first witness who testified did not want her identity disclosed, Then there's another witness that looks like later on in the day, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Just remind me when that comes up.
Judge, I will, he just, he's dismissed as well. Judge, can we not publish his name or his face as well?
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me, the interpreter, please identify yourself for the record.
David Cantillo, certified police interpreter.
Okay, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to translate to the best of your ability from English to Spanish and Spanish to English.
I do.
Okay, very good. And I'm going to ask the media with regards to this witness as well, not to show his face or disclose his identity. Okay, you just let him know.
La jueza dice que no.
Raise your right hand.
The testimony you're about to give,
El testimonio que va a dar,
so help you God.
con la ayuda de Dios.
Thank you.
Yes, I swear.
You can have a
Se
seat.
puede sentar ahí.
You may proceed.
Good morning, sir. Where do you reside? What city?
¿Dónde vive usted? ¿Qué ciudad?
En la ciudad de Ocala.
In the city of Ocala.
Were you visiting Tampa, Florida on June 23rd of 2024?
¿Usted estaba visitando a Tampa, Florida en junio 23, 2024?
Sí, vine de vacaciones a visitar el zoológico de Tampa.
Yes, I came on vacation to visit the zoo in Tampa.
Did you come on vacation with anyone?
¿Usted vino en vacaciones con alguien?
Sí, vine con mi familia, mi esposa, mi hija y mi hijo.
Yes, I came with my family, my wife, my daughter, and my son.
How old are your children that you came with?
¿Qué edad tienen sus hijos? ¿Con quiénes vino?
Mi hijo, el varón, tiene 12, mi hija tiene 8.
My son is 12 and my daughter is 8.
And where were you all staying in Tampa when you came to visit the zoo?
¿Y dónde se quedaron en Tampa cuando vino a visitar el zoológico?
Nos hospedamos en el Hotel La Hacienda.
We stayed at the Hotel La Hacienda.
Is that the La Hacienda La Quinta?
Could you restate, Counsel?
Yes, is that the Hacienda La Quinta?
Esa es la hacienda que es una quinta.
No, es hotel, se llama La Hacienda.
It's a hotel named La Hacienda.
Do you remember the area that it was located?
¿Se acuerda el área en que está localizado?
No, exactamente la dirección no recuerdo.
No, I don't remember the address exactly.
Was it around the college campus?
Era cerca de la universidad, el colegio.
Sí, sí.
Yes.
And did anything during the course of your stay in Tampa happen in the early morning hours of June 23rd of 2024 around 4 a.m.?
¿Alguna cosa sucedió durante su visita en Tampa en junio 23 en la noche alrededor de las 4 de la mañana?
Sí, efectivamente, a esa hora escuchamos un estruendo, un ruido demasiado fuerte en nuestra habitación.
At that moment, we heard a very loud noise, very strong sound in our room.
What were you doing before you heard the sound?
¿Qué estaban haciendo antes que escuchó el sonido?
No, estábamos descansando, estábamos dormidos.
We were resting, we were asleep.
What did you first do when you heard the sound?
¿Qué fue lo primero que hizo cuando escuchó el ruido?
Estuve aturdido y lo primero que hice fue ver a mis hijos y a mi esposa.
At first, I was shaken, and then I looked to my children and my wife.
When you say you looked to them, were you doing something to them or helping them with something?
Cuando usted dice que los atendió, ¿los estaba ayudando a hacer algo o qué hizo exactamente?
Los recogí, los abracé y los puse a buen recaudo.
I went to them and I hugged them and I tried to place them in a safe place.
Did you know or could you tell at that time what caused that sound?
¿Usted sabía o pudo darse cuenta en aquel momento que estaba causando ese ruido?
No, yo me asusté mucho porque fue demasiado fuerte. Realmente pensé que era una bomba.
No, I became very afraid because it was very loud. At first I thought it was a bomb.
Did you hear your wife or your children exclaim anything at the time that you all heard this noise?
¿Usted escuchó que su esposa o sus hijos dijeron algo cuando usted escuchó ese ruido?
Mi esposa, igual que yo, se puso nerviosa y a los pocos segundos ella se quejó de un dolor en su pierna derecha y una quemadura.
My wife, just as me, became very nervous, and very quickly she complained of a pain in her right leg. It was a burn.
Were you able to see the right leg of your wife at that time?
¿Pudo ver la pierna derecha de su esposa en ese momento?
Sí, la estuve revisando y tenía en su pierna una especie de quemadura.
Yes, I checked her, and on her leg there was a kind of burn.
What is it that you saw that you believed it to be a burn?
¿Y qué fue lo que vio que le causó que usted pensara que fuera una quemadura?
Estaba roja, parte de su pierna estaba rojo.
Part of her leg was red, and it was red.
At that time, could you see anything that may have caused that injury to your wife?
Y en ese momento pudo ver algo que habría causado esa herida a su esposa.
Después que estuve revisando, vimos que el edredón se había quemado y encontramos un pedazo de metal.
After we checked, we saw that something had burned, and then we found a piece of metal.
Did any other members of your family complain of any injuries or pains after you had an opportunity to check with your wife?
¿Algún otro miembro de su familia dijo que tuvo dolor o de alguna herida después que chequeó a su esposa?
No, mis hijos estaban demasiado asustados y llorando.
No, my children were very afraid and they were crying.
At any point, did your son locate any particular items of potential evidence in the room?
En algún momento su hijo encontró alguna potencial evidencia dentro del cuarto.
Lo que estábamos buscando, mi hijo, él encontró el pedacito de metal.
What we were looking for, my son found a small piece of metal.
When you were looking for the item that may have caused the injury to your wife, your son found that?
Cuando estaban buscando a ver qué artículo había causado la herida a su esposa, ¿su hijo encontró eso?
Sí, o sea, sí, él encontró ese metal, lo pisó y vimos que era eso.
Yes, he found that metal. He stepped on it, and we saw what it was.
At that time, could you hear anything outside of the hotel room?
En ese momento, ¿usted podía escuchar algo afuera del cuarto?
Se escuchaban patrullas y las sirenas de las patrullas.
You could hear police. You could hear the sirens of the police.
Did you and your family exit the hotel room at that time, or did you stay inside of that room?
¿Usted y su familia salieron del hotel en ese momento o se quedaron dentro del cuarto?
No salimos, nos quedamos ahí, no salimos.
No, we didn't leave. We stayed there. We didn't leave.
A few hours later, at the time of checkout, were you able to provide the items that you found to the hotel manager?
Cuando salieron del hotel y se revisaron para salir, ¿le dieron el artículo que había encontrado al gerente del hotel?
Cuando bajamos al desayuno, informé que no tenía aire acondicionado y que había llegado ese metal a la habitación.
When we went down, we told them that the room didn't have air conditioning, and we gave them the piece of metal that we found.
And were you also subsequently contacted by law enforcement for them to ask you about what happened as well?
Y después de eso, usted fue contactado por los policías para que le dijeran lo que había pasado.
Sí, yo recibí una llamada de un oficial cuando estaba de regreso a casa y me pidió la versión de lo que había pasado.
Yes, I received a phone call from an officer on the way home, and he asked me for my version of what had happened.
Did you leave your contact information with the hotel so that they could follow up with you if they had questions?
Usted dejó su información de contacto con el hotel para que pudieran tener contacto si tenía alguna pregunta.
Sí, ellos tenían toda mi información de registro en el hotel.
Yes, they had all my information for registration in the hotel.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Cross?
I just have no questions for the witness.
Okay, thank you. All right, and may this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, sir. You are free to go.
Eso es todo, puede irse ya.
Gracias.
Okay, state, next witness.
Officer Yanis Hansis.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Would you please state your name for the jury?
Good morning. Yanni Hansis.
How long have you been with the Tampa Police Department?
I've been with Tampa Police for about a year and a half, and prior to that, I had about 7 years in Florida, other agency.
What is your current title with the Tampa Police Department?
I'm just a patrol officer for District 2.
Were you called to a request for service at the La Quinta Hotel on June 23rd of 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the nature of that call?
We initially got a call for like a criminal mischief of bullet hole damage. We later determined it was related to a shooting incident that occurred earlier in that morning.
And the La Quinta Hotel, where is that in relation to the Home2 Suites and the Holiday Inn Hotel?
It is just west of the Home2 Suites, same plaza, just directly west.
Do the hotels form somewhat of a U shape, essentially, in their layout?
Yes.
So on the north side of that U, essentially, what hotel is there?
Is it more towards Fowler?
Yes.
The La Quinta.
And when you arrive at the La Quinta, what is it that you're responding to? Is it the front desk? Is it a specific location?
Yeah, just the lobby.
And what was reported to you from the lobby there?
I made contact with the evening shift manager, and the evening shift manager provided me with a bullet fragment that was handed to him.
Did he provide you information as to how he obtained that fragment?
Yeah, so he was taking over the shift from the previous manager, the day shift manager, and the day shift manager provided him with that bullet fragment.
The location of the La Quinta Hotel, is that directly near or in, where is it in relation to the primary scene for the Charles Jones homicide?
It is just west of, it's west of that location.
Are you familiar with at least the layout of where the scene that was being processed on that side of those hotels was?
A little bit, yes.
Meaning, was that on the opposite side of the La Quinta?
Yes.
There was some, I guess maybe grassy area, trees in between the hotels there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you have any part in processing the scene at the Home2 Suites or the Holiday Inn?
No, only at the La Quinta.
When you spoke to the hotel manager and he advised that he provided you something, did he indicate that he himself collected that?
No, he said it was turned over to him by the day shift manager.
Were the managers able to give you the information for the guest that provided that to them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have an opportunity to view the room itself from which that guest provided the projectile?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have an opportunity to attempt to check the exterior to see if you can find an impact or entry point?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you document doing both of those things?
Yes, ma'am.
When you actually arrived to the room that Mr. Gabbor was staying in with his family, were you able to actually see anything in the room that was of potential evidentiary value?
Yes.
And what was that?
In the west side of the room, the first bed, I observed a burnt hole mark by the foot of the bed. That hole mark also had a little bit of fragment, bullet fragment still on it, residue. And then just beneath that bullet hole fragment on the floor was more fragment on the ground. Further search of the room, I located under the air condition unit a bullet hole with a trajectory that was consistent to the hole that was in the bed.
And what about consistent to what observations you made outside of the hotel room, so on the exterior of the building and into that room?
So on the exterior of that building, of that same room, just underneath the exterior air conditioning unit was also a single bullet hole entry. That was consistent with the trajectory into the room.
You indicated that you documented those observations that you made
Yes, ma'am.
by taking photographs?
Yes.
Having linked now this initial report or call for service to the events that occurred at the Home2 Suites earlier in the morning, did you make an additional call for a crime scene to come out?
Yes.
And did crime scene come while you were there at room 201 to process the room?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what has been pre-marked as State's Exhibits 21O and 21N. You recognize those two images?
Yes.
And how is it that you recognize these images?
I took those photos.
Your Honor, at this time the state seeks to admit 21O and 21N.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, admitted.
I'm going to show you, if you could look over your shoulder just there, states 21N. If you need to, you can stand up. But if you could show us what was of note on the exterior of the building that you were able to document.
That's the air conditioning unit, the bullet hole.
I apologize. You're able to stand up, yeah. Is this what you were attempting to document on the exterior of the room?
Yes.
Okay, let me show you 21O. It might be a little bit easier. Let's look toward the interior of the room at 21O. Are you able to tell us again what you were documenting here in 21O?
Yeah, that's the entry hole from the interior.
How are you able to capture this picture from the AC unit itself?
I got on my hands and knees and looked under the AC unit, and I just took a photograph.
Okay. And then again, we'll look at some additional photographs, but crime scene also came in, and did you have them photograph the initial items that you also photographed?
Yes, ma'am.
When you were able to take possession of the object from the front desk, was it in something?
Yeah, it was already in a clear Ziploc bag.
And was that something that you relayed to the crime scene tech that also responded?
Yes,
The
ma'am.
assist that you had from crime scene at that time, did you also explain to them the additional fragments that you found next to the bed and the damage that you found on the bedspread?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time I'll pass the witness.
Okay, cross.
Defense has no questions for this witness.
Okay, very good. May this witness be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go. All right, State, who's your next witness?
The state would call Ms. Ms. Nunez Martinez.
Okay.
Morning. Would you state your name, please?
Good morning. Geraldine Nunez Martinez.
Where are you employed?
I'm currently employed with the Tampa Police Department.
And what is your job title?
Crime scene tech.
What are some of your duties as a crime scene tech?
We respond to crime scenes. We document the scene through photography. Then we collect, process, and preserve the evidence.
When you say process, preserve, collect, what does that look like?
We collect different types of items of evidence. We process for fingerprint, DNA, and then we preserve the evidence by packaging it correctly, making sure that nothing gets cross-contaminated or anything like that.
Are the items that you collect typically individually packaged, and then are the packages annotated in some way?
Yes.
And how is that?
We package by putting them in envelopes or in a box, anything like that, individually.
And when you say that you are preserving the scene itself, does that include taking photographs there?
Yes.
Were you involved in an investigation that occurred in the area of East Fowler Avenue on June 23rd
Yes.
of 2024?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to take you a little bit out of order because my understanding is, what was your first call? Where did you go first?
I responded to an apartment complex first.
Okay. Can I take you a little bit out of order and ask you about the La Quinta?
Of course.
Okay. I'm going to show you what has been marked as 21A through O. If you can tell me if you recognize these.
I do.
Did you take these photographs on June 23rd of 2024?
I did.
Were you called to respond to 3701 East Fowler at this La Quinta here for a specific documentation of a room?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would seek to admit the remaining exhibits 21A through I.
Any objection?
No objection.
When you first arrived to a scene, publishing states 21A, is it typical that crime scene will document the exterior of the location that you're processing?
Yes.
As it relates to a hotel, does that mean the overall exterior of the hotel?
Yes, and then numerical.
And then,
Numerical, like the address.
okay, yes, to document where you took the photos.
Yes.
Understood.
Mr. Harmon, you need to learn to whisper.
Sorry,
It's all right. Go ahead.
In this particular case, were you asked by one of the officers on scene to come and help to preserve actually a room?
It was to photograph the room and collect some evidence from the room.
In showing 21C, did you also receive a request to photograph the exterior for potential damage to the exterior as well?
I did.
And were you directed to that room?
Yes.
Was that room 201 inside of the La Quinta or the La Quinta?
Yes.
In showing you 21D, is this a close-up that you took on that exterior to document any kind of impact from the exterior of that room?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to enter that room and see whatever it was that the officer asked for you to document as well?
Yes.
As it relates to your overalls, you also indicated that you will document the specific room, and you did that here again in 21E.
That's correct.
And in 21F, will you take overalls of the interior of the room as well?
Yes.
Upon actually going to or locating the site that was represented to you from the officer as having potential evidentiary value, did you find something on one of the beds in the room?
Yes.
In showing you 21H, can you tell us what that was?
There was two fragments, one on the bed sheet and then one on the floor.
And is that what's indicated here with these yellow markers?
Yes.
Were those placed by you in taking these photographs?
Yes.
In looking to 21I, is that what you are referencing here?
That's correct.
Now, in these, we have some kind of a scale on those yellow markers. In 21J, is this that same object?
Yes.
Was there a physical object that you were actually able to remove from this marker?
Yes.
And was that what you've mentioned as the metal fragment?
That's correct.
Did you do the same in documenting 21K on the floor of that room just under the bed? Or just
Yes.
near the bed?
Yes.
Were you also provided from Officer Hansis a baggie with a metal projectile or fragment inside of it?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to also see that item, 21M?
Yes.
Now, I asked you to go a little bit out of order. You initially had some involvement in this particular investigation in responding to an apartment complex.
Yes.
Would that have been in the area of 3104 Oaks Drive?
I believe so, yes.
What was the vehicle that you were processing? Do you recall?
I believe it was a Nissan or
When you got to that scene, what observations did you make and how did you begin to process?
I began, there was a vehicle parked in front of the apartment building, and I began by photographing the vehicle first. And then I processed for prints, and then I collected evidence.
This particular case, you would have processed that vehicle on the scene.
Yes.
Okay, so are there some instances or times in which you will process a vehicle at a different location?
Yes.
And can you explain a little bit about that?
Sometimes a vehicle will be sealed at the original scene and then impounded to our impound lot, and then we would process at the impound lot.
I'm going to show you what's been marked 31A through V. Do you recognize these?
Yes.
Are these the photographs that you took from 3104, the apartment complex, excuse me, of the Nissan Altima?
Yes.
Do you include with your exhibits, or excuse me, with your photographs, a copy of something as your first page typically?
Yes, a case summary. Yeah.
Your Honor, at this time, the state seeks to admit 31A through V.
Any objection?
No objection.
Did you say A through D or A through V?
V as in Victor, Your Honor.
Thank you.
On any given day in your role as crime scene, do you have the opportunity sometimes to respond to many different scenes?
Yes.
Let's talk about 31A, what we've just talked about, a little summary. Is this what you utilize, at least as the first picture before you start, to give yourself a reminder and to let us know
Yes, that's
what
right.
you're photographing?
Yeah.
Okay. Having had an opportunity to see this summary, is this the set of photographs that you had taken at 3104 Oaks Drive?
That's correct.
And do you recall that being on the same date
Yes.
of June 23rd?
Yes.
That just would have been, because it's my fault, I took us out of order, before you actually responded to the La Quinta.
That was my first scene. Yes.
In 31B, is this the vehicle that you responded to process?
Yes.
Is this as the vehicle was when you arrived?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to access the interior of the vehicle as well to document any potential damage there?
I did.
In 31C, do you recall what area of the vehicle this would have been?
This is the radio screen.
And what were you documenting here?
Damage, and I believe I collected a fragment from there as well.
Would that be 31D?
Yes.
Can you show us, please, what you're referencing when you're talking about the fragment that you collected?
Do you want
Actually, I might make this a little easier so you don't have to stand. How about 31E?
That's the fragment that I collected from.
Would that have been you taking that fragment?
Yes.
I mean, I don't have that for all of them, so let's see, 31F.
That was damage, yeah.
When you actually respond, are you working with law enforcement that's in charge of the investigation, so the detectives or the other officers, to ascertain at least an overall of what potentially occurred?
Yes.
Do you make decisions based on your training and experience on what to document or collect, and based on what the officers direct you to?
Yes.
Do you receive information from the detectives about documenting specific items, such as this car?
Yes.
But you also can use your judgment in what to document.
Yes.
31G, were you able to document another potential impact point inside of that Altima?
I did, yeah.
Was there anything actually collected from this particular area above the control panel?
No.
Were there some areas of the seats themselves inside of the vehicle that you were able to document, 31H?
Yes.
And in 31I, did you have an opportunity to document the back of the seat as well as the passenger side?
Yes, that was more damage.
And again, these yellow markers that were placed were the defects that you noted in each of those areas.
That's correct.
31J. And I think we talked a little about this, but you take overalls and then closer and closer until you're actually able to get a close-up image of each of the items that you think may have potential value.
Yes.
Again, here in 31K, still the passenger seat or the rear of the passenger seat?
Yes.
Were these additional defects in that same passenger seat?
It was just a closer picture of it.
Did you have an opportunity to document some fragments, 31P, in the rear of that Altima?
Yes.
And in 31Q or 31R, is that what you documented here?
Yes.
Now, you said you also collect from the scene. When you're processing these items, after it's photographed, you've collected that as well?
Yes.
And do you impound that somewhere?
I do, yes.
31S, did you also have an opportunity to document the rear window of the Altima?
Yeah, that was the interior side of it.
And is this as the vehicle was when you arrived to process it?
Yes.
Lastly, did you document the trunk of that Altima in 31T?
I did.
And now I know I've shown you a slim selection of the photographs that you would have taken. Do you typically take hundreds of photos from each scene?
Yes, I can.
After you processed the Altima, we've heard that you responded to the hotel to document room 201. Did you have some additional involvement in this case?
I did.
And what was that?
I responded to the TPD impound lot for a search warrant on a vehicle.
Is this one of those instances that we spoke about that the vehicle would be brought to impound for additional processing?
Yes.
I'm showing you state 67A through T. Are these the photographs that you took of the black Dodge Charger at the impound?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move states 67A through T into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Be admitted.
So for these items that were processed at the impound lot, we'll start with 67D. For this vehicle here, the vehicle itself on scene, would you have been the person that went to this vehicle at the Home2 Suites or outside of the Holiday Inn and actually processed it there?
I did not.
Would that have been another member of the Tampa Police Department's crime scene unit?
Yes.
And is that unusual that one would document at the scene and another would document back at the impound lot or at evidence at headquarters?
No.
You work together as a unit?
Yes.
Now, can you tell me in 67D here, the vehicle looks to be covered in some kind of cellophane-like material. Why don't you tell the jury what that is or about that if you can?
That is a crash wrap that we use in case if there's any damage to the windows. We seal the vehicle so that we don't lose any potential items of evidence that's inside the vehicle while it's being transported from the scene to the impound lot.
Is that why we see some yellow stickers already on the outside of the vehicle as well there?
The yellow stickers was to document the damage to the vehicle.
Is there some limited processing that occurs when you're going to transport a vehicle like this of the exterior before it's transported?
Yes.
Is that to preserve any potential items on the outside of the vehicle?
That's correct, yes.
These things would have occurred before you received the vehicle?
Yes.
And ultimately, once it arrives at impound and is sealed, is there some kind of indicator in showing you 67C on the vehicle that tells you who sealed it for your records?
Yes, the white sticker on the doors, that's the seal, and it shows that it hasn't been broken since I got it.
In your processing of this vehicle, were you able to determine that there was an impact point in state 67F as it relates to each of the yellow stickers on the exterior?
Yes.
In showing 67G, was this the condition of the vehicle, the tires, the windshield, et cetera, once it arrived at impound and when you started processing?
Yes.
Including what we can see a little bit in the photos as some kind of damage down the left side of the vehicle?
Yes.
When you are actually processing in 67H, the vehicle itself, do you record these yellow markers in some way?
In my case, I just did an overall picture of it, but if I was doing it from the original scene, it would be overalls, mid-ranges, and close-ups.
Meaning if you had been the person who placed them, so the person who placed them would have had to document them numerically type of thing?
That's correct, yes.
You did take overall stills, though, of that vehicle, 67I included?
Yes.
And were you able to document anything on the right tire of that vehicle, 67J?
That was more damage on the tire.
You indicated that you used the cellophane wrap or the wrap for the exterior for window damage. In 67L, can you just describe for us what it is that we're actually looking at beyond the cellophane there that you're documenting?
There's also damage to the window itself. There's sticky notes and damage to the door, and to the pillar itself too as well.
Is this material that's applied sticky on one side or tacky on one side?
It's sticky on the side, on the side that is sticking to the actual vehicle.
Does this allow for the glass to stay in place if you have to transport the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. So the way it's shattered there, it would have still been intact when you received it?
Yes.
Once your overalls for the exterior of the vehicle were completed, did you have an opportunity to photograph the interior of the vehicle?
I did.
So you would be the person that actually documents and breaks those white seals you testified about?
I did, yes.
In showing you 67 in, can you tell us what view from the vehicle you documented?
This is the driver's side, front side.
And again, I'm only going to show some limited photos here, but you run the same process that we talked about in your earlier scenes. Far away, then some close-ups of any potential items of value.
That's correct, yes.
Did you also document the backseat of that vehicle in 67O?
Yes.
As you move around the vehicle, do you move essentially in order, so drivers front, drivers back, and move around the car in that way?
Usually, yes.
In 67P, did you have an opportunity to move around to the passenger side of the vehicle?
Yes.
The items of potential value that you noted in the vehicle, did you collect those things after photographing?
I did, yes.
In state 67Q, what area of the vehicle are we looking at here?
This is the center console.
And just as we did with the other vehicle, did you have an opportunity to document the trunk of that vehicle in
Yeah.
67R?
Yes.
Did you have some additional involvement? I know you said you worked together with other crime scene units. Did you have some additional involvement back at your headquarters in processing evidence?
I did.
Or impounding evidence, excuse me.
I did receive evidence from another CST.
Do you, as crime scene, often attend autopsies at the medical examiner's office or transport materials from the medical examiner's office for potential investigations?
We do.
And do you, if you don't attend it, have the opportunity to assist others in impounding it or logging it or labeling it at your agency?
Yes.
In the event there is an item that you log or label, do you also document that in some way?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity in this particular case to log the items that were collected from the autopsy of Charles Jones?
Yes, I received those items from CST Cruz.
Your Honor, may I have one moment?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, cross-examination.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so in short, you took a lot of photographs in this case, correct?
I did, yes.
All right, you took photographs of 2 different vehicles?
2 different vehicles.
All right, at 2 different scenes?
Yes.
All right, and the photographs that you took of the Nissan Altima, do you know whose car that was?
I do not.
Do you know if it belonged to a victim or to a defendant?
No, I did not.
All right, so showing you what's in evidence is states 31U. Do you know whose firearm that is?
I do not.
Do you know if it belongs to a victim or a defendant?
I do not.
Showing 31B, do you know whose firearm that is?
No, I do not.
Do you know if it belongs to a victim or a defendant?
No, I do not.
And showing you 31T, is this the same firearm from the previous 2 exhibits?
Yes.
All right, so you don't know who this firearm belongs to?
No.
All right, and does anyone give you any context for the scene or the crime when you go out there and you take pictures?
Yes, the detective.
All right, so did they tell you whose car this was that you were taking photographs of?
They did not.
Other than take photographs, do you collect any evidence?
Yes,
You collected, I think, evidence you said from crime scene tech Cruz?
I did, yes.
All right, and that evidence was evidence from Charles Jones's autopsy?
Yes.
So different bullet fragments?
Bullet fragments, clothing, fingerprint cards, blood cards, anything that came from the autopsy.
Okay, and crime scene tech Cruz gives you these items, and what do you do with them?
In this case, I just packaged them and then put it into evidence.
Into like an evidence locker?
No, into evidence, our evidence control section.
Okay, after it goes to the evidence control section, do you have anything to do with it?
No.
All right, do you process any evidence?
I do.
What do you do when you process evidence? Like, what are you processing it for?
So it depends. I could process for DNA, for fingerprints. I could do both.
Okay. In this case, did you process any of the evidence that you collected?
I did.
What evidence did you process?
I process, do you want me to start per scene or?
We can start from the scene, yeah.
Okay. So I processed the vehicle on scene for fingerprints. I received items.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. The vehicle on scene, which vehicle is that?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Nissan.
The Nissan? Okay, you processed the Nissan for fingerprints. What else?
I did. I processed items that I received from CST Calderero. I processed the firearms.
And I don't mean to cut you off.
Sorry.
But you said CST Caldero, right?
Yes.
That's a different crime scene tech than crime scene tech crews.
Yes.
All right, so there's 2 crime scene techs.
Yes.
And those 2 crime scene techs, they go to the scene and they get certain pieces of evidence?
Yes.
And then they brought the evidence to you?
Yes.
All right, so from Caldero, the different crime scene tech, what did you process from Caldero?
Can I reference my report? There's
Yes,
a lot
if
of
you need to
items.
refresh your memory, you can.
There was a Red Bull can, Canada Dry bottle, Don Julio tequila bottle, and a firearm.
Okay. The firearm is from the Nissan Altima, the pictures that we just saw?
That was a different firearm.
A different firearm inside the Nissan Altima?
No, that was a
Where was-
firearm that I received from CST Calderero.
All right, do you know where CST Caldero got that firearm from?
No,
She didn't tell you?
no.
All right. And you processed the firearm for what? DNA and prints?
Yes, both of them.
All right, and DNA is different from prints, right?
Yes,
Prints are, if I put my finger on a particular surface, it may leave a print there, right?
yes.
And DNA is like blood, saliva, bodily fluids, that sort of stuff.
Touch DNA, yes.
Right, so if I cough or if I sneeze, I might transfer DNA from myself to another surface. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's 2 different types of physical evidence.
Yes,
All right, and you processed the firearm for both.
for both.
All right. What else did you process?
I believe that was it.
Okay, so I got from Caldero, I got a Red Bull can, Canada Dry can, a Don Julio bottle, the alcohol, correct?
Yes,
And the firearm.
the firearm, yes.
All right. And then you processed the Nissan Altima for prints.
I processed the Nissan Altima for prints, and I processed the firearm that I got from the Nissan Altima.
So you processed 2 firearms.
I did.
All right. The second firearm, the one from the Nissan Altima, what did you process that for?
DNA and fingerprints.
So both. So both firearms are processed for both DNA and fingerprints.
Yes,
Okay. And when you process the firearm for DNA, you're taking a swab and you're wiping the firearm,
yes,
and you're wiping it so that you can sort of collect any DNA that's on it,
yes,
and you swab particular areas of the firearm, right?
yes.
So like the slide, you would swab that area?
In specific, front side muzzle, trigger grip, with the rear side slide, and the bottom of the magazine.
All right. And you will process or swab those particular areas because that's the place where you're most likely to get DNA. Is that correct?
Yes,
All right. And that's what you're trained to do, correct?
yes,
And you did that for both firearms.
I did.
All right. Do you actually do the analysis? So after you process the firearm, after you get the actual swab, do you then test that swab against some other DNA or other fingerprints out there to actually get the results?
No,
All right, that's another person's job.
yes,
All right, so you have no idea whether this firearm or these firearms that you swabbed for DNA or you dusted for prints, you don't have any idea as to whether or who they came out to be.
no, I do not.
Same thing for the can and the Red Bull can, the Don Julio bottle, and the Canada Dry. Same thing? You don't actually analyze what you process.
No.
Somebody else's job.
No, if I lift or if I swabbed, that is up to the detective to send that out. The fingerprint specifically, it goes to a latent examiner.
Got it. So the lead detective on the case, he fills out a sheet if he wants to have the DNA that you process, if he wants to have that analyzed. Is that correct?
I'm not sure their process, it's up to them, yeah.
So you don't know how he does it, but you know he's the person, the detective is the person that has to send the evidence out to a lab to get analyzed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Do you know if it got analyzed?
I do not.
Other than take any photos, other than process the Nissan Altima and for prints, and did you process the Nissan Altima for DNA as well, or just prints?
No, I believe CST Caldero had already done that prior to my arrival.
Okay. When you say you believe, is that something you know for sure, or just you think?
I think.
Okay. All right. So the Nissan Altima for prints the items from CST Caldero, the Red Bull, the Canada Dry, the Don Julio, and the firearm, and then and the firearm from the Nissan Altima. That's everything.
I believe so.
Okay. And why does Crime Scene Tech Crews give you the items to put away in evidence? Is that just how it rolls, how it goes?
It just depends on how much we have going on that day. And I was already working this specific case. I was already attached to the case.
Okay. All right. No further questions. Thank you.
Okay, read rec, just briefly, Your Honor. Ma'am, can you just tell us, when you arrive at the scene, you said you're given some statements. Are you asking for the rundown of, what are the facts, what are the motives of this case, all that stuff, or what information is the detective giving you so that you're able to process?
The detective gave me a brief synopsis and then asked me, they specifically tell me what they want me to do with that specific item, or in this case, the vehicle.
So if it is a shooting, they try to tell you there was a shooting so that you can look for entry, exit, projectiles, et cetera.
That's correct.
Is anyone telling you about the history of the case or the specific facts of the parties, anything like that at that time?
No.
When you are indicating that you process these items, you strictly mean to preserve them?
Yes.
So when you have indicated that you impound them after you have photographed, swabbed, lifted the prints, there is an expert that evaluates the fingerprints?
Yes.
There is an expert subsequently that would be contacted for DNA and all of the other things we've discussed?
Yes.
And your role is just to document the scene, collect that evidence, and ensure it's impounded and secured?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you.
All right, members of the jury, it's 10:30. We'll go ahead and take our morning break, so we will be back at 10:40. All right.
All right. Please give your notes.
Okay, very good. See you guys back here momentarily.